Hey there folks, I'm coming to you today with another knife review, and we're going to be looking at the limited edition Benchmade 805 TSEK. Now TSEK stands for Tactical Safety Equipment Knife. So with an acronym like that, you know that this is a knife that means serious business. I've been looking for something to add to my EDC rotation that might be more of what I would call a weekend knife. In my daily routine, I've talked about, I go back and forth to my office. Safety isn't a huge consideration. So I'm looking for probably utility first, and tactical self-defensive capabilities might be more of a secondary consideration. So I was looking for something, on the weekends where that might be different, or in a situation where I know I'm going into an environment where, because of the laws, I can't bring a firearm with me. I am a CCW, concealed carry weapon permit holder, but of course you can't carry everywhere. So it would be nice if I could have something that was a knife that was a little bit more tactical in nature for those situations when I can't carry my firearm. So I started looking at knives that were a little bit larger than what I'd been typically buying. I'd been buying right around the 3-inch mark in terms of blade length, and for everything that I was looking for in a knife to kind of fit this this philosophy of use, to use a nut and fancy term, I had some things that I wanted. I wanted nicer G10 handles. I did not want an assisted opening knife, and I wanted a premium blade steel. At least S30V or better. There's a lot of so-called super steels that have come out in the market the last year or two, so I was kind of looking for something along those lines. It's kind of a baseline of comparison. We'll be using the Benchmade 556 Mini Griptilian here, and you can see just how much bigger the 805 is than the Mini Griptilian. It's a big knife. That blade length is just shy of 4 inches. I think it's 3.9-ish in length. So it's the largest blade length that I've had to date. Here's the Benchmade box. Of course, this is a blue class box, which for most for all intents and purposes is about their best knife that they make that you'd actually want to use. They have the gold class, of course, which is knives that are $300 and $400 and $500 and above, that are probably for collectors. Maybe not something you'd necessarily want to use every day, but they're blue class in terms of their, what I'll call their user knives, are probably about the best that they make. This is a limited edition knife. It's available exclusively through KnifeWorks. KnifeWorks.com. And yeah, again, I had such a hard time finding a knife that kind of fit all the parameters that I was looking for. It seems like a lot of the newer knives that are out there with some of these super steels, particularly from Benchmade, are what I would call assisted opening or automatic knives. And I really didn't want to deal with the potential hassle of that. In my state, you can carry an auto knife, and there's not really much in the way of blade length restrictions. But yeah, I just, again, the whole auto knife. I've got one that I like, that Kershaw 7000. I like it. If I need an auto knife, I can bring that along. So I was looking for something that wasn't an auto knife. And it seems like there's a lot of, particularly in the Benchmade line, and I like the Benchmade Axis lock, there wasn't a lot of choices when you start looking at premium handles that aren't orange. or some other kind of funky color, the choices get limited. And I ran across this knife, and there was, because this is a brand new limited edition, it was a pre-order item that's just started shipping in the last couple 3 weeks from KnifeWorks. There wasn't a lot out there. On pictures, it looked a little bit different than what I thought I was going to get. So let me go over the features and everything, and I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like about it. As you can probably see, it's got G10 handles. The texturing is not all that aggressive. It's not slick by any means. This is, I think, a little easier to hold on to than, say, the Benchmade 930 Colgera that I tested a couple weeks ago. But it's not all that aggressive. You can see that they've got anodized blue spacers in between the handles. That's a nice touch. Some have kind of complained that why didn't they do more, and I would kind of agree. I would have liked to, if they were going to do the anodized blue spacers, I don't understand why they didn't at least do anodized blue thumb studs. That would have been a real nice touch. So that's kind of a minor hit there. From an aesthetic standpoint, I would have liked to have seen them, if they were going to go with the anodized blue spacers, do some more with it. Maybe give us, I don't know, an anodized blue axis lock or some blued screws. That would have been nice. The pocket clip, kind of a polished stainless. It's typical Benchmade quality, nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to bend up on you. That's a nice pocket clip. Let's deploy the blade. One thing I was trying to kind of get away from was that that long, skinny blade blade look that my 960 Osborne has. And this probably isn't entirely what I was looking for. This is a very long, skinny knife. I mean, it's huge. It feels almost like a sword in my hand. My goodness, this is huge. I haven't carried it yet. I just got this yesterday, so I'm going to try carrying it today. I'm really questioning whether I'm going to like carrying it. Again, here's the mini Griptilian. The 556 is kind of a baseline comparison, and that's that kind of tells this whole story there in terms of just how huge that knife is. And I think that I like the blade proportions and aesthetics on the mini Griptilian better than I do this knife. I guess the blade shape is kind of a neutral point. I would have liked something with a little bit more width to it, just from an aesthetic standpoint. Here you can see the limited edition markings. This is 163 of 400, and it's in M390 blade steel. Now that's one of the newest blade steels that's out on the market today. It did come out of the box pretty sharp, sharper than I've seen any other Benchmade, so that was a welcome surprise. Some people have been complaining that have been ordered this knife that there were some quality control problems out of the box. One of the big complaints that has been leveled is the centering of the blade, and mine is very well centered within the handles. I have no complaints whatsoever on the fit and finish and the quality control on this knife. This is as nice a knife as any that I've ever had, so no complaints there. I've said it before, but the point bears repeating, that for me, if they would just make this this Griptilian this is the mini griptilian, but if they would make the griptilian in a choice other than this cheapish kind of FRN, which is very functional, it just looks cheap and feels cheap to me. But if they would make this in a nicer G10 or even rubber like this Gerber that I have, I would like it so much better. You know, you can go on the Benchmade site and customize a knife, and the other thing that irritates me is that they make several different color variations in handles for the mini griptilian and the griptilian. There's no red. Why can't you do red, Benchmade? I can't. Boy, that just infuriates me. There is a nice blue. I'm thinking about ordering a full-size griptilian with blue and S30V. That would probably really fit the bill in terms of what I'm looking for. In terms of price point, this Benchmade 805 is an expensive, more expensive knife. It's right around the $200 mark. I think you can, you know, with shipping, you're going to be just over the $200 mark from KnifeWorks. Again, it's exclusive to KnifeWorks, so it's not like there's going to be a lot of competition out there. So, you know, it is what it is for the price. But, you know, it's probably in the upper threshold of price that I've paid for a knife. And in terms of value, I mean, I paid almost the same price for my Bradley Alias 2, which is a much smaller knife. So if you're measuring in terms of the amount, you know, the size of the knife, this was probably a little better value. Again, it is a limited edition. It's got that cachet. Let me go ahead and get some close-up photos, and I'll mention a couple other things too. Okay, here's some close-up footage of the Benchmade 805 TSEK. You can see the limited edition markings. Here's another hit I'm going to kind of make on this knife. I'm not real crazy about, I guess, having this large printing here on the blade. I kind of like a clean blade. I don't mind the stuff here in the corner. You know, if maybe on the other side they could have, you know, put the fact that it was limited edition maybe closer toward the handles or something. I probably would have been happier with that. But I guess it doesn't detract too badly. Maybe it's the font I'm not crazy about. I don't know. I wish it wasn't there. I guess I would prefer a non-limited edition knife that's doesn't have that printing. Of course, it has some nice jimping. That's real good. From a tactical standpoint, it's an excellent knife. It gives you a lot of reach with that blade length. There's those spacers. There's the pocket clip. It's polished, so that's probably going to show a lot of scratches if you do carry it, but not a big deal to replace it. And then you can see the G10 handles a little bit better here. And again, I think this knife blade very well centered right out of the box. No adjustment necessary by me. So there's just some close-up footage for you. Okay, there you have it. There's kind of my overview of the Benchmade 805 TSEK. Great knife, really. You know, if you did have to defend yourself, I think this is a fantastic knife. Again, that blade length and the handle length is really going to give you the kind of reach you would want if God forbid you ever had to defend yourself with it. But I think I'm looking for something a little bit different. I'll carry it for a couple days and see how I like it, but this may not you know, be my end destination for a carry knife. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please subscribe to this channel, leave me some comments, and let me know what you thought of the video and of this knife. And until I see you in the next video, take care, God bless.